Hi readers, so today we're going to be reading The Fairy Without Wings, Scholastic. And these are the characters: Tinkerbell, Rainy, so who's the fairy without wings, Trent, Beck, Lily, Bess, Vera, Queen Calarian. Have you ever heard the faint jingle of a tiny bells or noticed sparkles of shimmering light outside your bedroom window at night? Have you ever seen pixie dust floating in the air? Beyond the world you see, there is another world in this world. Tiny creatures known as never fairies live. I wonder what never fairies are. Let's find out. The never fairies live in Pixie Hollow, on the island of Neverland. This is where mermaids play, and no creature ever grows old. As for the never fairies, that's why they're called the never fairies. They are charming, tiny creatures. They stand only 5 inches tall. They sparkle everywhere they go, and they all have wings. Each fairy from special skills and talent, and their magic comes from pixie dust. Pixie dust is a special dust that allows fairies to fly, and flying is what fairies love to do, especially love to play a fun game of fairy tag. This is Trent's, Tinkerbell, and who's that? Let's check. Beck. When fairies are out in the meadow, they zoom up and down and in and out of tall grass. The fairies dodge wildflowers, while their laughter echoes throughout Pixie Hollow. Sadly, one fairy stopped playing fairy tag a long time ago. Her name is Rainy. Rainy had wings once, but not anymore. She had to give them up while a quest to save Mother Dove and her precious eggs, the source of Neverland's magic. Mother Dove was a magical bird whose nest contained the special egg. Without Mother Dove and her egg, there would not be no pixie dust, and everyone in Neverland would quickly grow old. When danger had threatened Neverland, Rainy had cut off her wings so that she could dive into Mermaid Lagoon to retrieve a mermaid's comb. Rainy's selfless act saved both the egg and Pixie Hollow. While all the fairies were grateful for what Rainy had done, they also felt very sorry for her. It's okay, Rainy assured them. I'll be fine. Deep down, though, Rainy was sad she had lost her wings and her ability to fly. Thankfully, whenever she needed to fly somewhere, she could hitch a ride on Brother Dove's back. So see Mother Dove? This is Brother Dove. Rainy's special talent was water. Rainy could form it into any shape. She could make water bounce like a ball scoop into her hand without losing a single drop, and make water boil faster, which pleased everyone at tea time. Rainy had always wanted to swim, but she couldn't when she had wings. The water would soak her wings and make them too heavy. Without wings, Rainy could finally enjoy swimming. She loved feeling the smooth, cool water on her skin, and she spent hours floating down Haven Dish Stream and swimming in the ocean. Rainy even learned how to breathe underwater. She made a necklace of bubbles filled with air, and when she popped a bubble in her mouth whenever she needed to breathe. Another favorite pastime of Rainy's was to spend time with her friend Tinkerbell. Tink loved to fix things, especially pots and pans. But pots and pans weren't the only thing Tink liked or tried to fix. One day, a very rude fairy named Wiria told Rainy that she had become useless without wings. Rita's harsh words hurt Rainy, and she ran away. Tink missed Rainy terribly. When she was gone, when Rainy finally came back, Tink never wanted her friend to run away. So Tink went to see the sewing talent fairies, who could do magical things with a needle and a bit of thread. Tink also brought along a design talent fairy. Let's combine our talents and make Rainy a new pair of wings, Tink suggested. Fantastic idea, agreed the other fairies. They began working as fast as they could. The sewing talent fairies used other feathers and fabric to make the wings. The design talent fairy fashioned a complex system of strings that would help Rainy steer when she soared through the air. An extra cup of pixie dust and you'll be flying in the sky again. Just wait and see, Tink promised Rainy. But when Rainy tried the wings, they felt a bit awkward and the strings were, ouch, strapped too tight. Come on now, Rainy, Tink cried as she fluttered in the air above Rainy. Rainy pulled the string and flapped the wings. Flap, flap, flap. She did her best. Suddenly, a gust of wind caught the wings and Rainy whirled through the air. It's working, Tink cheered as she flew beside Rainy. You really think so? Rainy asked, trying to avoid a bush. Oh, yes. Once you learn how to steer, Tink assured. Maybe, Rainy shrieked, dodging a tree. Then another gust of wind blew her straight into an old oak tree. Crash! Rainy groaned as she dangled helplessly from the branch. Are you okay? We'll get you down. Don't worry, yelled Tink. Look, a squirrel and a bunny. They're like, oh, a surprised face. Okay. Although Rainy tried to be brave about the accident, the other fairies still felt sorry for her. She heard some of them whisper about her. Oh, it was terrible. She nearly fell from the tree. She can't fly. To make everyone matters worse, whenever Rainy entered a room, everyone became quiet. Maybe Rainy could convince the other fairies that she was fine. If they saw her happy at work, Rainy set out to use her water talent skills to the best of her abilities. She spent the morning in the laundry room making water and soap bubbles just right. Later in the kitchen, she made the water in the teapot boil quicker than ever. When she saw the harvest talent fairies bring in the baskets full of gooseberries to be washed, Rainy beamed. It was the ideal job for a water talent fairy. The fairies quickly rinsed the berries so that they could be made into pies. Rainy then drained the berries perfectly. When she was finished, there wasn't a single drop of water anywhere. At tea time, Rainy went to the tea room and sat down with the other water talent fairies. Enjoying After enjoying tea, the gooseberry pie, Rainy wanted to take a dip in the cool stream. Then something shiny and glittery caught her eye. It was Tink, strolling into the tea room with yet another pair of wings. Rainy shook her head in disbelief. She knew that Tink was up to. These wings were even more magnificent than the last pair, but Rainy didn't want to try flying again. Still, Tink was determined to help her friend. These will work, I promise, said Tink. Come on, let's go out to the meadow. There are no trees there. Tink, the wings are really beautiful, but Rainy started to say. Hush now, Tink said. Look, they fit you perfectly, and these will last, I promise. Tink, Rainy said, sighing. Tink, Rainy said, sighing. Please, Now just jump, cried. Now just jump, cried Tink. Rainy did as she was told and jumped. The wind carried her along, and for a moment Rainy enjoyed floating in the air again. All of a sudden she heard a loud crying in the distance. Hawk, hawk! In Neverland, hawks often lurked about, ready to swoop down and snatch an unsuspected fairy. Rainy quickly dived, but the wind just kept taking her higher into the sky. Soon she was so high up that when she came down, she crashed. When Rainy hit the ground, the useless wings snapped off and hit her on the head. Ouch! Rainy cried as she rubbed her head, foaming. Rainy stood up and yelled at Tink. I wish you'd stop trying to fix me. I'm not a broken pot. Rainy stormed off and went directly to the stream. Frustrated and angry, Rainy dove in and felt the soothing water cover her. As she floated on her back, Rainy heard a shrill cry up in the sky. She saw the hawk again. Oh no! It snatched Trent's. He's really tiny. I couldn't see him. If you could see him, he's right there in the hawk's claw. Why didn't the scouting talent fairies warn him? Rainy wondered. They were supposed to watch for hawks and other danger that might lurk in Pixie Hollow. Rainy looked up and spotted a flock of scouts chasing the fierce bird. For a moment, Rainy wished she still had her wings. She wanted to save Trent, but there was no way she could help him while floating in the stream. Rainy gasped when she saw two scouts flying too, close to the hawk's sharp beak. Watch out, warned Rainy, but the scouts were clever and played a trick on the hawk. As the hawk lunged at them, the third scout holding the dagger landed on the hawk's head. The hawk saw the sharp-bladed blade and forgot all about Trent's. Trent tumbled down through the air. Spread your wings and fly, Rainy cried, but nothing happened. Oh no, Rainy shrieked. He can't fly. He's anxious. Well, at least he'll fall into the water instead of hitting the ground, thought Rainy. But Trent couldn't swim. If his wings got soaked with water, they could be too heavy to keep him afloat, and he could drown. Rainy quickly zipped through the water to save Trent. The cool water woke Trent up terrified. He realized he was out in the middle of the stream. He anxiously began to kick his feet and flail his arms. "Stop thrashing around!" Rainy cried out. Rainy swam towards Trent and grabbed him. The pair broke the water's surface. Rainy struggled and used all her strength to carry Trent toward the shore. Slowly, inch by inch, she dragged him out of the water. Along the shore, every fairy in Pixie Hollow cheered as Rainy and Trent made their way to safety. "I'm glad you don't have any wings," Trent said to Rainy. "Otherwise I would have drowned." Rainy smiled at him. Then she felt Queen Clorin touch her shoulder. "I don't know what we would have done without you," the Queen said. "Like water and can be gentle and yet very strong, but in times of danger and hardship, few carry your determination and resilience. Without those qualities, our treasured Pixie Hollow would not exist." So there's Queen Clorin. Queen Clorin added, "Even without wings, you have shown us that." Then Queen Clarin was silent. She looked at Rainy for a long time before saying, "Rainy, I simply don't know how to thank you, so please accept my deepest respect instead." Proud tears trickled down Rainy's cheeks. She was happier than she had been in a long time. Rainy felt another hand on her shoulder and turned to see Tinks standing before her. "I kept trying to fix you, and I'd fly backward if I could," she apologized. "But that's what I do. I fix things." "I know," said Rainy, as she smiled through her tears. "But you really shouldn't have been tinkered with. Reluctantly admitted Rainy, looked at the sad expression on Tink's face and gave her a big hug. "I know you were only trying to help," Rainy said. Tink sighed. "From now on, I think I'll just stick to pots and pans." "Fine with me," agreed Rainy, "but promise to be my friend forever." "I'd like to go for a swim in the ocean now," Rainy said. "Can I come?" Tink asked. "Not for a swim, but of course, but for company." "Of course, but for the company. Sure. Come fly there with me," Rainy replied and whistled for Brother Dove. A moment later, the two friends soared into the sky and headed out to the big blue ocean, where only a very special fairy without wings could venture. The end. And that was the story, The Fairy Without Wings, Disney Fairies. I hope you like this book, readers. Bye, readers. Bye.